BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. Right now, you can receive a 50% free bet of up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from the Olympics to baseball to Formula One racing. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
What's happening? 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 What it do? What up, though? It's your boy. We back. I got my home girl. I got my partner. We in this thing. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Tiger Talk TV. Did you hear what I said? I said Tiger Talk TV. So before we go any further, make sure y'all go to YouTube. Go to all your social platforms. Type in Tiger Talk TV. We are rebranding. We have rebranded Tiger Talk TV. So welcome. Make sure you have clicked the subscribe button on YouTube and make sure you click the bell so you can get the notifications every time a show comes on, because all of the new shows from now on will be on Tiger Talk TV. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Podcasts, and we're on Spotify. What's happening? What it do? It's your boy Terrell Key, aka T Reezy.
It's your girl Danielle, aka Don Yeezy.
And it's your boy Toby Johnson, aka Fear Styles.
All right, so check this out. I want to give a shout out first and foremost. So look, I was jealous because Danielle has a flag and she got the background. Toby has a flag and I didn't have a flag. So I want to shout out to my boy Greg Stewart with the personalized flag. Y'all see it. T Reezy Fo Cheesy.
Yeah.
Shout out.
In this thing. Shout out Greg for the flag. Appreciate you, bro. Really, really, really appreciate it. Greg sent me. They said, man, look, I got your flag, man. You got to put it on your wall on the show. I said, say less. So we in here. Toby Danielle, what it do? What up, though?
What up, though?
What it though? Do you say what it moo?
I said, speaking of moo,
what it moo?
Hey, that was good. What it moo? So for those of you who don't know, I am wearing a Moose Side Moose shirt. There's a page on Instagram that I think is called Historically Black College or Culturally Black. I don't really know. But they posted the clip from Moose Side Moo at Jackson State University. There was a show on BET called Hits from the Streets. And it was originated at Jackson State University. So I am wearing the original A1 Perico. The original OG shirt from 1999 when Al Shearer, who was the host of Moose Side Moo, host of Hits from the Streets,
and the founder of Moose Side Moo.
You said what?
He's the founder of Moose Side Moo.
He's
you a charter member. You're a charter member.
Yeah, I'm a charter member. Reed, Sid, and Vibrant. Yeah, charter members. Yeah, at Jackson State University, Mississippi's Urban Comprehensive University. For those of you who did not know,
choose Jackson State. I did.
We did.
All three of us did.
We did, clearly, because that's why we're here. So so we're back, man. So yeah. That's funny you said that. So we're here, we're back again. Ready for another episode. Thank y'all for allowing us. Major shout out to the Tiger Talk TV family. Major shout out to D Corey C. Major shout out to Ken Clark, and major shout out to Zoe Phillips. And always shout out to Danielle and Toby, or aka Dun Yeezy and Furious Styles. But we here. What it do, y'all? What we got going on today?
Man, it's good to be a part of the family, right?
It is.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I got a question, guys.
You do?
I do, man. So when we used to go on band trips, I feel like I'm the girl off of American Pie. This one time at band camp, but no, like, but when we were marching, And I don't think it's changed much. But you got 6, 7 buses, loaded up. When we used to go out to eat, we had the big three. It was either Ryan's, Golden Corral, the Piccadilly Morrison cafeteria. What was like when you saw us pull up? Because we never knew we didn't know if we were going to eat back in the day. But when we pulled up to the parking lot, which one made you excited?
Ryan's.
Why?
For me, those buttery rolls.
Yes.
And the steak was actually decent.
Yes. The rolls good.
The rolls though.
Yeah.
Those buttery rolls.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to ride with Dunyeezy on this one, and I'm gonna say Ryan's. But my favorite item. Now we ate great. We ate very, very great. My favorite item was the ice cream.
I knew you were gonna say that.
You knew I was gonna say that. Sometimes, so I'm not gonna go too deep, but sometimes the ice cream didn't always make it out of the door or onto the bus some kind of way.
Sometimes it didn't.
I dropped it, or it was dropped some kind of magical way, and it hit the ground. I'm like, man, that was my ice cream. But if I was sitting in the inside of the restaurant, partaking in the ice cream was my favorite. So I'm gonna say Ryan's. That's funny you said that. Man, we used to eat good. We ate, man. We stuffed ourselves.
Good. I was disappointed when they opened up the U-Haul truck or the equipment truck, and then we would have the boxes with the wet sandwiches and the jungle juice. That was like major disappointment for me. But Ryan's was my go-to spot. I would get excited because of the rolls and the biscuits. Yeah.
Box lunches.
Yeah,
but the jungle juice was the jungle juice.
Lunches.
The jungle juice was
hard times right there. The budget.
The jungle juice did hit.
The jungle juice hit.
Can't lie.
It did. The juice hit. Oh my gosh, that's wild. Like, so I remember. So you brought that up, and I don't want to go too deep. Well, I keep saying that, but then I am going too deep. There was one football game where we played University of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. And we battled them. This was in 2000 or 2001. It was in 2001. I know Kev was in the band. We stayed in the stand so long, I think the restaurant closed on us.
Yes.
We were in the band. We were in the band. I don't remember if we got a chance to eat or not. So before we go too far, y'all remember what was your favorite restaurant? In the comments section, drop it in there.
Drop it in the comments.
Big three. You said Ryan's, Piccadilly's, Golden Corral. Golden Corral was all right. It depends on what city we were in.
We could rank it. That'd be number 2.
We can rank Golden Corral number 2. What was yours, Toby?
Oh, definitely Ryan's because of the biscuits.
You said okay.
Yeah, I like Piccadilly, Morrison. I like that one as well, but it would be a long time because they would feed us because you have to walk through that line and pick what you want. You have to tell the server I want that, and I want that. And it just took a long time. So you could be on bus 3, bus 4, waiting on 1 and 2 to get done before you even get in the line. So yeah, I just didn't like waiting on the bus.
That is funny.
Yeah, go ahead, guys. Go ahead and put your answer in the comments. Go ahead and pause the video and put your answer in the comments. Let us know.
We want to see, even if you didn't go to Jackson State, if you, of course, Eric, you were in the band, huh?
You got to pick. Yeah, if you went in the band, which one you gonna pick?
Yeah, because I know you went to if you were in the band at whatever school you were at, you
had a favorite restaurant.
You had a favorite. You had to get fed
on band trips.
You gotta eat band trip. That's standard band trip food.
They gotta feed you.
They gotta feed you. That's one plus. That look, you're gonna miss that meal in the cab, so you gotta eat with the band.
What y'all say? EAT?
Eat all the time. In case you didn't know, that's what they stand for. I don't know if
Fat Club. I only know about Fat Club.
Oh, my bad. He wasn't supposed to know that. Sorry. Hey, you know what, Toby? Pretend that you didn't hear none of that.
I didn't. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know you know I was talking too fast.
There's a smile in my head.
He's like, yeah. That was good one. I like like that. That was a good. I got a question. Looking. I like that. All right. Well, man, let's get into it. Y'all ready? We ready to get into it?
Let's get into it, man.
Let's go.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're back again with another special guest because all our guests
are
are
special.
special.
they are special. Ladies and gentlemen, the pom-pom is in the air. We gotta have a pom-pom ready. Pom-pom's in the air. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Roderick Little. Woo!
Hey.
We got Dr. Rod on here.
Hey.
So, Doc,
What's
what's up,
going
man?
on, ladies and gentlemen?
Hey, man. Thank you for coming on, my good sir. It's good to see you. Good to have you on to the show. Welcome to Tiger Talk TV. It's Bad Session with the Boom.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Of course, I've been following what you guys have been doing, and I just think it's awesome to allow a platform for all of the many members that have shed blood, sweat, and tears for our program to tell their stories. All of them are different, and one thing that I often say when I talk about the program, people look at the program from an entertainment value standpoint, and rightfully so. But it's people that make up the program, right? And what you guys are doing are telling the story to people, so I think it's very important. So kudos to you guys, and thank you for having me on.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
It's a pleasure.
You gonna look, somebody done chop some onions. Anybody, it ain't even a kitchen up in here.
Oh,
What
my goodness.
onions popping?
Oh.
No. Hey, no, appreciate that, man. Thank you, man. That's what we want to do, man. We definitely want to keep the tradition going, man, because a lot of these stories and it's crazy you said that. And this is not this one even playing. Crazy you said that there are more stories out there than we probably have the moments for. Like there are a million stories from years gone by that either were never told or that needs to be told or that people want to tell. And it's trying to get everybody on in the next 2 months is not gonna happen. But over time, man, we get these stories and these stories all connect. People's names come up. Your name has come up in some shows, different people's names come up in shows, man. We just talk about that, man. We just spread their love, man. So we're gonna get into it. Did you hear the question? Did you hear the I got a question?
I did. I heard I got a question. That was a good one for all band heads out there.
Hey, you rank it. Ryan's Golden Corral and Piccadilly.
I would say Golden Corral, and I would actually say the box lunches with the jungle juice. Because
He liked it.
I think after the game, we did our job. We was trying to get that box and that jungle juice and head to the house. We didn't have far to go. That's how
to go.
Sitting on the bus with the box in our laps on the way to the back to the school, or on the way home, we didn't put everything up. Here your lunch, here your box. See you later.
It could be ham. It could be bologna.
Who knows? Could be a piece
But
of chicken.
when you guys were saying that, man, it's just things stay the same, because we take our kids to Golden Corral off a lot, simply because they have the infrastructure to take care of such a large group.
Right.
And Terrell mentioned the ice cream. I see our kids hitting up the ice cream dispenser all the time, putting all kind of sprinkles and stuff on there. So it's just like you said, the more we tell these stories, the more we find out how connected we are. And you guys with the band, all of us were in the band a while ago, and then to know that the same stuff is happening with our students, it's good to make that connection.
It's crazy because I know you're in a situation where now, because you're in a situation where you're introducing certain things to students because of they're coming from various backgrounds. I know when I marched, that was the first time when we was on the plane. It was several people. That was the first time they ever flew. And then going to certain restaurants, some families, they go to restaurants every Sunday. Some people never step foot into a restaurant, and they 18 years. So that's something that you're introducing to your students, and that's awesome. Let's start the cast by asking the question that we ask everybody. Tell us your boom story from beginning to present, where you are right now.
Okay, I was first introduced to the boom vicariously through my middle school band director. His name is Dexter Green. He's a superintendent now, but he marched in the boom. And sometimes we would have those free days, right? Like the end of school year, there's really nothing to do, and so you're going to show your kids some films and things like that. And coincidentally, he would show us Sonic Boom tapes. Now at that time, I didn't know it was a Sonic Boom of the South until I grew older. But that's when I first got my start with watching the Sonic Boom, because he had those tapes. He was in the band. And then, there's a plethora of parades that the band typically does, and we do them now. But the Martin Luther King parade, that was like my parade, because I grew up in that area. I went to Lanier High School, and I remember, man, the Boom marching down the street, and they looked like superheroes to me, right? They looked superhuman. And I remember the drum line coming through, and of course, I think they were playing series, and they did a flash, and it was just synchronized, and everything was together. And I was like, man, what band is that? Again, I didn't know it was Jackson State at the time. My sister and my brother went to Jackson State. My brother actually attempted to be in the band, but he didn't quite make it through. And I was a homebody. My mom and I, we got together, we got along, and so I didn't see any need to go to any other colleges. And plus, I gained a love for Jackson State anyway, because my high school band already went to Jackson State, Dr. Fords and Caston. So I just had Jackson State all around me. And Doc came by the band hall recruiting at Lanier. And I guess my high school band already told him some good things about me. And Doc just gave me a scholarship on the spot. Like, look, man, I heard a lot about you. I think you'll be a good fit at Jackson State University. So I was like, okay, cool. Jackson State is right in my backyard, an outstanding program. The band director seems like he likes me. I'm going to Jackson State. So that's kind of like my story in a nutshell on how I ended up coming to Jackson State University. And it was undoubtedly one of the best decisions that I ever could have made. I mean, for obvious reasons, now I have the privilege and honor of being the director of all of our students as part of the program. But it was so many other things that I learned from that program, man, that I'm still learning today. So it's continuously feeding into me as I feed into our students. So
Awesome.
That's wonderful.
Go ahead, Danielle. You about to say something?
I was pulling up my question.
Okay.
So you seem pretty intentional, right, about your profession and your leadership. So I noticed that when you were drum major, you became drum major, right? I noticed how you approached the band. I noticed, how you kind of just, I won't say jumped into it, but you leaned into it, I would say, right? So I feel like you had an idea that you wanted to be drum major, right? Did you know, though, when you got to Jackson State, did you know that you wanted to become the director of bands?
Well, I think that all music majors, like when we come through the program, we all have dreams of being either the director of bands or an assistant, just being on just being able to be affiliated, man. Like, look, this is home. Jackson State University is the best band in the land, no questions asked. I just want to be a part of that, right? So yeah, so of course I did have dreams and aspirations of being, a band director, the band director, and then eventually when I got on staff, of course I had major goals and aspirations of being director of bands at Jackson State. But Danielle, I get asked the question all the time, because I'm not, all that old, and people ask me like, how can you do this at such a younger age than most, but not knowing that Harold Holden started his position in his early 30s, and Dow Taylor started his position at 30.
Right.
He was the youngest director of band. So, with that said, I think I know that God embedded this love for band and music within me at a very early age. I've been doing it ever since high school. My high school band director, no shit, I love you, Dr. Cass, and he'll tell you this story. He used to go in his office and go to sleep, and he used to let me run the band because
Sleep.
yeah. He go in his office, shut the door, go to sleep, and when he wake up, the band will be prepared and be ready to roll. And so that sharpened my skills as a leader, and that sharpened my skills on learning how to deal with my peers. So Danielle, by the time I got to Jackson State and Doc afforded me the opportunity to be one of his drum majors, I was ready to roll, because when I got to Jackson State, I knew I had to work my way up through the ranks. And I never forget, I was late for PT only one time. And I was breaking my neck trying to get out there. And Tammy, she stopped me. And she's like, hey, man, you want to be drum major here, right? I heard you want to be a drum major. Like, yeah. She said, you never can be late again. Like, as a drum major, at least you can't be late. And then that was kind of like one of those lessons that I learned, and knowing that somebody else knew what I wanted to, how I wanted to impact the program, that just pushed me even more. And I appreciate her to this day. I told her this story like around about homecoming. She never knew. So we all impact each other. Mhm.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how those little moments, impact us for the rest of our life,
Right.
and the opposite side really don't know it. We just trying to sharpen each other's iron.
Right.
Yeah. In the moment. Yep.
So I got one. So Dr. Rod, I'm gonna call you Dr. Rod if you don't mind. Dr. Rod. So we talked about you being drum major. So I do want to get to you being drum major and performing for homecoming 2023, but we'll get to that. What instrument did you play, sir?
So I played snare drum in the Sonic Boom of the South WT.
We can do that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, can't wait.
Go ahead.
I don't want to get kicked out.
Live a little, Go ahead.
I played drum 2 years in the band, man, and then I was drum major my last 2 years in the band.
So snare drum. So take us through. Okay, so from snare drum to drum major. So clearly, so here goes something funny that I always joke about. Danielle and I, we're horn players. You and Toby, y'all snare drummers, WT. Y'all were always in the WT room. And I frown to this day. I'm like, they always in that room. But I'm glad they're in that room because they too loud. We can't hear when they come in here, but we need them in here. So joke. So you go from being in the WT room because y'all working on all of the skills and everything that y'all need to work on, the flashes and all that good stuff, just working on the music, just in the drum section, doing y'all thing. So then you come into the band hall. So it's kind of like you, or at least I think, from my perspective, you guys spent a lot of time in the WT room, but y'all were working. Y'all were doing y'all thing. Y'all were getting it on. And we were in the band hall. We were working. So then we come together. Boom. It's like the perfect marriage. So you go from being in WT, being a percussionist, to being a drum major. So you tried out, correct? Or were you just tried out? All right. So what was that whole transition tryout like, going from, not to say that WT never were drum majors, but I just want to hear from your perspective, like, because I don't think that's a question that we've ever asked on the show. If we have, we have. But I want to know from Dr. Rod, what was that transition like, going from percussionist to drum major and that whole tryout phase?
Yeah, so I tried out twice, Terrell. My first year I tried out going into my sophomore year, and it was terrible.
What? It was a dud?
Man, you know how you can be back in the day. They used to have drum major trials. They said trials the same day, and people had signs and all that. And coincidentally, I didn't get too bad of a treatment, but I know people saw how bad I looked, and so it just didn't go well. And the thing about it, like I told you guys when I first started, like, this program taught me so many lessons. That was one of them, because when I came in, in my mind, I'm like, okay, Doc know me. He gave me a scholarship. Tammy knew I wanted to be a drum major, and all some other people saying, like, dude, you gonna be drum major? I think you got some leadership skills. Okay, cool, I'm gonna be drum major. And I didn't pay all that attention to the training aspect of it, right? Understanding that when you look at a Jackson State drum major, you're looking at the apex of showmanship. And so I didn't focus in on it like I should. And again, that audition was just terrible. Greg Noggin went out there and killed it, and a gentleman named Hubert Tate, who's doing real estate, he went out there and he killed it. And those two guys, they got the position. And what that taught me was that everything is not given, and you don't want to assume anything. Like, just because people may think that you're supposed to be in this certain position, you have to work for everything that you have. And that's what I definitely try to impart on our students at Jackson State University. But that was, if I don't remember anything else out of all the lessons that I learned at Jackson State, that one would definitely rise to the fray of the totem pole of the things that I learned.
Do you remember the song that you tried out to?
I thought I was innovative. I did a mix. I think I did. It was live versions of the band playing. It was Under Pressure, and then it was like a fanfare at the beginning. I can't remember what. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Together, I tried to do a back bend with the mace on the doggone gym floor, and I almost fell. And
Lord, it be.
It just wasn't working out, but it wasn't my time. And so it was worse than that. So we were like, right here, stick with the drums, fella. But that next year again, I came back with a vengeance, and I looked a little bit better than what I did that first time. And I continuously worked. Good thing when I made the squad, we had Byron on the squad, and Byron is, I mean, literally, a drill master. And I used to do my shot, and I used to do like a little chop type of thing, and I had to get that out of my vocabulary as a drum major. And yeah, you got that too. That's the brain. And so I remember that vividly, man. And so, with that, I honed my skills from the showmanship aspect. And then I was just able to display my leadership skills after that. But making drum major coming from the drum line, of course, when you're in the drum line, you got thick skin. Like you gonna know how to work hard, right? They teach you how to work hard because you definitely got to earn your position. And there was just, another vehicle for me to show my resilience on how I should earn a said position in the band program.
Yo, so that's that story. I try not to be redundant, but if the shoe fits, put it on your toe first. I learned so much stuff from people on this show that I have never heard of before. I did not know that you flopped your first time, and you had a whole. The man said he had a whole mix. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill him with this. I'm gonna put."
I know, I remember that, and I know I was like, "Oh, okay."
This way, I ain't never heard about this.
Innovative.
A fanfare. There was a fanfare.
He had a fanfare. He was standing at attention. He had his chest out, back straight. He was ready. Straight face, phone face. He was ready. And then it was like womp womp womp.
Right. No, Terrell, I did a drum major salute. That's what the fanfare. Now it was some tune. I think it was Neck. I don't know what it was. No, we wasn't playing Neck at that time when I tried out the first time. But anyway, it was a flop, and I learned from it, and now we're here. So.
And now we're here.
Were you drum major
Started
at
from
Lanier?
the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah, I was drum major at Lanier, and actually Donald, he was the former drum major at Jackson. Said we was on the squad together. Actually, he used to come over to Lanier and train me just a little bit.
Okay.
That's why I went to.
Do you remember? People know you're the director of bands, but you also
they know now.
He's also a hell of a arranger. Do you remember the first tune you arranged for the boom that got played at a game? And how did that make you? How did that make you feel?
I was about to say y'all about to get all my horror stories tonight.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, because I remember my first time standing in front of that band. It was terrifying. Now again, it was another one of those situations to where like I'm getting ready to kill them. I had on the freshest outfit that I had in my closet. I think it was a Coogee outfit.
Like Coogee.
Don't do that.
Coogee down to the socks.
Yes, sir.
I had on red and black Prestos. Like, look, they ain't gonna know anything else. They gonna know that Rod Little can dress. So I went down there.
They gonna know your name today.
And I went down there again, and it did not go well. That the tune was "I Love You" by Drew Hill. And I had a bunch of 30-second notes in the tune, and the band was different back in the way. Like if you had at least 2 or 3 minutes to get your point across, and if you didn't get your point across in that time frame, somebody was like, pass to the left, or we're gonna burn that, put that in the trash. And again, I had to go through that. That was another one of those lessons to help me sharpen my tool as an arranger. And so, one of my first ones that I did was in the dance routine. I believe it was "I'm Sprung" by T-Pain. That was probably one of my first arrangements, and I had a couple other arrangements on the field. Dr. Webb was instrumental in that because by the time I started arranging, Dr. Magruder gave me my first opportunity to arrange back in 2003 as a freshman. And then after that, of course, he left and went to Winston-Salem. And then after that, Dr. Ware gave me some opportunities to arrange as a student. And again, I just learned at home this field ever since. But now we got the GOAT on staff. And so, that man is, and I'm sure we'll get to him a little bit later, but, he's just talented beyond measure, and he's my brother. And so I just rely on him, to carve out and be the architect of our sound, of what Jackson State University should be known for. And that's quality. And the way that he thinks about things in regards to its harmonic structure and voicing, that his stuff should be published. He should be
I agree.
You heard that, Kevin?
We're gonna work on it though.
I agree with
I
that.
love that.
I agree 100%.
Love that.
Yeah, I think that both of you guys together they'll make a great team. Both.
What I try to do, Toby. I just try to sprinkle in wherever he needs me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I feel like we may not have this genre of a tune, we may not have this here for this particular game, I'll just insert what I feel as though that may be needed. You know what I mean? So to your point, we do play off each other well.
Yeah. You wrote a tune this year, and I've had conversations with Kevin about this because I feel it's sad because we living in this digital age and social media. You guys have to, and we talked to Dr. Magruder about this as well. It's real hard to recycle, but the type of arrangements that both of you guys are doing, like one of the songs you wrote this year that I felt was amazing, and I play it on YouTube a lot, is the Slow Down remix. Where you went from, and when you go into that Jamaican bridge, that the feel from the percussion going into the second song, you introduced, like, I never knew that note that falls at the end existed until the boom play. I was like, oh, that was a creative ending. And then I went and listened to the tune. I was like, oh, he pulled that. That was an amazing arrangement. So kudos to you for killing it. But I'm going back to that because you guys, I know you spend a lot of time arranging these tunes to make sure that you're representing yourself and representing the university to the highest, peak. But it saddens me that a lot of those tunes, after we play them and we see them on YouTube, they die.
Over with.
So I'm trying to figure out how we can train people not to be so, like, to the point of everything has to be new every week. We got to be able to recycle things and be able to bring things back. So, because just to enjoy it.
Yeah,
because I would love to hear that live.
You said a mouthful, bro, and I tell you why. So when I got to Jackson State in 2012, there was a point in time, in the band where we would play some of the same tunes, and I get it because Doc would be like, look, it saves us with time if the band will already know what they're familiar with, and if the tune works, it works. You know what I mean? So I'm going in the battle knowing that this tune is going to work, and then plus two, again, as I mentioned, it's going to save time. But when I came in 2012, I kind of wanted to restructure that a little bit and add new tunes as we went along. And when I started that, and especially when social media and YouTube started to grow, this is the age of consumption, right? I mean, everything is like fly by night. We have to go, we have to know, and it has to move fast. And unfortunately, band has become a residual of that. And so, one thing that we talk about as a staff is like, what's too much? Because the thing about it is, man, our students, they are unhuman. And what I mean by that is like, for instance, when we did it was out of the Celebration Bowl, not Celebration Bowl, but the Band of the Year event that we did this past year. Man, we rehearsed all of the show, the music and also the drill within a span of like 3 days, man. And those kids, they learn the music so fast and the drill so fast to where I had to see myself to see if it was real. So our students, they consume real quickly, but at the same time, it puts unwanted stress on them. So I'm always thinking like, man, am I stressing my kids out by putting, all of that on them? Again, that's the thing that people typically don't think about. They just want to consume. Like, what is the band doing? They need to do a new show. This is not a new dance routine. They need to do a new feel. But at the same time, like, these are students who are going to school. They're dealing with home problems, trying to figure out how to pay for school, trying to figure out how to get gas to get to practice. They may not have had a meal. And so we have to keep all those things in the back of our mind as we're presenting all of these new tunes and field shows to them from week to week. So we're trying to crack that code, Toby. If I'm just being honest, we're still trying to crack that code.
I got it. You're doing an amazing job. Like I said, you're intentional. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, it saddens me sometimes because I know the work that you and Kevin and others put in. I mean, Chloe and coming up with dance routines and things like that. Once you're in the band, you know how hard that is. From the students to consume it, from you to creating it, it's a collaborative effort, and it just saddens me sometimes that to know that all that work, days and weeks to write the tune, to teach the tune, and then we play it 1-2 times, and then all right, let's go.
And I want to mention something about the J sets. We've gotten to the notion to where the J sets, they do a dance just about every game now.
Yep.
It didn't be that way.
They
so
doing routines in the stands.
and now they're doing actual routines in the stands.
Yeah.
And so again, it's an awful lot. And to your point, we're trying to figure out how to slow it down just a little bit without upsetting, what people have become accustomed.
Right.
Dr. Rod, you said something that really kind of hit home, and I don't want to stay on this too long, but I want to touch on this. So, a lot of people know about HBCUs,
Right.
just HBCUs, period, and what HBCUs stand for. And a lot of times it's more than going to school and going to class and getting your work. That's very important, but there are some things that go in that. But you touched on that very briefly, but I want to dive into that real quick. You talked about how you got students going through stuff that's going on at home. You got students that's trying to figure out how to get gas money to get to practice. You got students that are hungry. But in the band and the band staff, y'all have figured out, and I know this because, man, Doc and them did this to us. Y'all have figured out right now in 2024, 2023, 2022, in those years, y'all have figured out the way to meet those students' needs some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. Not getting too deep, not getting into the business or the personal situation, but touching on that for a minute, how as a band staff person, a director of bands, just a professor at Jackson State University, how do you meet those needs, those personal needs of those students? Because they gotta come. If you can't get to band practice because you ain't got no gas money, then you gonna miss what I got to say. So, how are you as a band staff, or how are the band staff, all band staff members, are able to meet those needs of those students?
Well, I mean, you guys, are avid proponents of the Sonic Boom of the South and having marched in it. The first and foremost thing is that you develop family in this band. Like, again, hence all of you guys together doing this show. And so they tend to help each other from that particular, aspect with being family on the undergrad level. But, us as a staff, to your point, we go above and beyond, and it's natural. It's nothing that, we try to go out our way to do, but we love our students so much that we do things like go above and beyond for them. And one thing that I always beat myself up about is because, we have a large band, right? We have over 200 students in the band. And me personally, I would like to have a personal conversation with every single kid in that band every single day, but that's unrealistic. So what I try to do is I try to make sure that I take care of them from a mass sense, right? Making sure that they are fed, making sure they have the things that they need, making sure they are taken care of. And of course, we have students, to reach out to us individually, asking if they need things, and we always provide that for them as well. But I'm remembering back in COVID, well, actually the year after COVID, because our students have to deal with so much. They went through COVID, and it was my first year director band. Surprise! You direct the band, you got to figure this job out, and you got to do it during COVID. Good luck. But next year, we had a bad snowstorm here in Jackson. And I remember that vividly because, of course, when the snowstorm came through, it froze all the pipes. There was no water for the students, man. And I hopped in my truck. My wife didn't want me to do it, and I understood, why she didn't want me to do it. But I hopped in my truck and I went to that band hall and I got all the water that we had. And I say, come meet me over in the band hall and get this water. Like those are the types of things that people don't see how we take care of the people in the program.
Right.
My philosophy is if you take care of the people in the program, all the other stuff is gonna fall into place. The showmanship, the music, the marching, the pageantry. But you gotta be able to take care of the students in the program. And that's one thing that I tell them when I recruit. Like when you come to Jackson State University, we care about you as a human being, right? Now we're gonna go and we're gonna totally dominate and destroy bands. Our mantra for next year, same as Plug, is destroy. It was dominate this year. We destroying people next year.
Oh, God. Hold on. We're gonna let that cook for a second. We're gonna let that cook.
It's gonna be bad. I notice I ain't said anything about music and the content. I'm just talking about the person itself. But
We good, yeah.
when I talk to the recruiters, so when you guys come in, we want to focus on you as a person and make sure that you leave better than what you came, right? And we want to make sure that you graduate as well. And so that's what we focus on. And when students know that, they go to the end of the earth for you. Because I know we get on their nerves with the staff. I know, and you guys know how it is on the band practice. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's a tough job. And so we have to build that trust, and we have to build a relationship with the students in order for them to do the job.
Man, that's awesome. Man, hey, kudos to you. So the clock is ticking. We got to stay within our time. So Before we go too far, I know we got some more questions. I know Danielle got some questions. Toby got some questions. Man, Toby Danielle, I think we should give flowers.
Man, it'll be all day.
It'll
It'll
be
be
all.
all day.
It
It'll be
will
all day.
be.
We about to do it though, man.
We gotta give flowers, man. We gotta
Yeah.
give flowers. Go ahead.
Just giving flowers, man. Like, I'm not you came in after us. So
Yeah.
like I knew you from afar, you know. After I graduated, I stepped away. I just went to games and hit people on the head as y'all marched in with the pom poms. That's all I did. A little bit too much looking at me, but that's what I did. But I followed your career, you know, from afar. You make WT alumni very, very proud. You know, we were just the drummers in the back of the band hall. We didn't have people arranging songs in the percussion section while I was there. If I'm wrong, somebody put it in the comments. But that's something that didn't happen. But you are a total musician. We didn't have too many people graduating in the music department from the percussion section. Only a few while I was there. So you made a lot of us proud. But going forward, Danielle said a word intentional. Everything that you do from afar, we see that it's intentional in it. We see that there is a purpose in it from the moment you step into that band hall. Something that you've done that I'm really proud of is that you created. I don't think it was there before for you. Was the high school band camp that you guys have in the summer? Am I correct that you stuck? Is that something that happened under your realm?
So I started it in the current state that it is now.
Yes.
They used to do a camp, but it was more so like a holistic music camp and more so centered on concert band.
Right.
So Doc used to do it for a number of years, and they used to do it in the '80s, where they used to be theory, but it's more so concert band based. But now our camp is marching band. It's all of it. It's all of it.
And I say that because I know it's intentional, because what's happening, even with this last one, you heard during the recruitment tour on the video, we're seeing kids coming from Wisconsin, California, you know, parts that Dr. Liddell used to always say, we're recruiting from the same genetic gene pool. He used to say it all the time. But that was from Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas. Like that, you have found a way to recruit from another genetic gene pool, which makes the band stronger. And it's like that whole iron sharpens iron thing. So like just everything that you've done has been really, really intentional. And I have to give you kudos for that, because I don't see the boom falling. You see band programs grow, but what you've done is set a foundation for anybody that comes. And I don't want you to go anywhere, stay there forever. But what happens is with you, like a school or our basketball team or football team, you have a good coach there, but they're good for the moment, and that it is not sustainable. But what you have done has put these little bullet points in place that whoever comes behind you will be able to sustain that and make that program maintain and be great. Like going to the Rose Bowl, playing at the Super Bowl, the happiest moment that I've seen this year, and this is where I knew, because I'm a fan of students. I work in the school system, and I'm looking at the kids, how they respond to the teacher when I'm going into the classroom. At the end of this year, when y'all stepped off the field after performing for Usher or performing with Usher, in that video where you said something, and then the kids went crazy. We got the best band in the land, and they caught that on video. I was playing that on loop because my heart and my eyes were crying, because that's bigger than the university, you know, what everybody saw. But I'm looking at you and how they relate to you and how you invoke that passion into them, and they love you. They love you as a person. They love you as a teacher, as an educator. And I can see that they would drive through a wall for you. So those are my flowers.
I appreciate that, bro, Toby. And one thing that I just want to thank you for publicly as well, man. I remember, I think it was a game out of this year, last year, man. I mean, you just came out of the stands. I don't know. I remember, you know, you shaking my hand and just saying, man, you know, you're doing a good job. You know what I mean? So I want to thank you for that.
Yep. It's facts, man. I try to give kudos when I see it, but like you, man, and I know it's hard because I'm on social media and I see we have critics, You know, and I was like, oh, you a 45-year-old critic, man. Let them kids have their time. You know, they're like, we lucky we didn't have social media because they would have ate our tail alive for playing I got hoes in different area codes 7 games straight. You know, so like,
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. I want to laugh and then scream at the same time. But
I know, right?
But y'all know we would have got ate alive for that. You know, it's like,
Today? What?
yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. Rod, so Dr. Rod.
You good, man.
Toby said like 3 things that I was thinking. So mine's gonna be brief, and then I'm gonna give it toss to Danielle. One of the things that I do when I come home to the games, we come in, you know, we sit in box 12, we box 12, baby. And I look up at the band, like all I do is look up, and I see you, I see the band staff, Chloe, Kev, you know, and I see y'all, like salute, what's up, throw the peace sign, and I'm watching. One of the things that I watch the most is the kids' reactions, the students' reactions to y'all, to you. Like when you get up, when you stand up, and you fire them up, hype them up, get them crunk, pump them up. Man, I can see them. Yeah, dog. Yeah, yeah. You know, so I can see, you know, I can see the excitement in the 17, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. And they're watching you. They're like you had, and I know this is something that starts in the band hall. It starts on the band field. Like when I come to practice, you up on the podium, way up tall. Like all of that goes into game day, like the game day pageantry. So that's what I mean. Kudos to you on that, man. Like if the students are not happy, you said it. If you ain't taking care of the kids, they're not gonna take care of the program because they're gonna be like, these folks don't care about me. I'm gonna go on back home. You know, so kudos to you on that. That's all I got because Toby killed it on the flowers. I had a few little things. He took them, so I'm gonna just say that's all I had to say, sir. Kudos to you on that, man. Like you got it going on, my good brother. Really, really do. Right? And I appreciate you. I appreciate your creativity. And I got one more thing. You spoke on being like a younger band director, which is great. But this ain't the first time. This is not the first time it's been done. So you're doing an excellent job of being a younger band director. And man, when them old heads across the field come to the vet, man, you stand up and be like, and they're gonna be like, oh, it's that young thunder again. He gonna try to
Young Thunder.
Young Thunder.
Place my handle at the bottom of my name for you.
Young Thunder. That's the IG handle.
Young
Thunder.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
Little, he cocky with it, man. He know when the song when the kids got that energy and the song thumping. I've seen him hit that hand and then turn around and stop directing the band and look across the field.
Yeah,
that's a wonderful segue into my flower giving.
Come on with it now.
Wonderful segue. So before I get into my flower giving, Rod, what was the crankiness song y'all played in 2023?
Wow, crankiness. Back to Toby's point, like it's so many. It's like literally hard for me to choose. I think our kids just went total Super Saiyan mode at the blue and white game. Like,
oh wow!
Seen it all, and just in the simple little rap tune that we did. I can't think of the name like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just and that's what we try to do. Each performance, try to get better and better. So to answer your question, I think one of the loudest will be from one of those performances.
Oh wow, that's the most recent.
Yeah, the most recent. Yep.
I love that. So, Rod, I'm so proud of you, and it's because I was there when Byron was training his squad as his drum major squad. Right, he got back from overseas. Doc said, "Hey, I want you to be the head drum major," and he said, "All right, here are my babies." Right, and Byron is intentional, right? He loves to look good. He wanted the best looking squad ever, right? And you said you had the chop. I remember the chop on your. I remember that. But and just watching you from then, and like I said, just noticing how intentional you were as your first time approaching the band. I sat there and watched you, and how you approached the band, how they responded to you. I was like, this guy has a different idea of, you know, what's going on. You know what I mean? And so to see you in that space, right, and to watch watch you throughout your career, to get to become, like you said, that having the honor and privilege of being the director of bands at Jackson State. How, like, I feel like in between you getting on the band staff, right, being hired to be on the band staff, and becoming the director of bands, there was a plan, there was a spark, there was something that, or there may have always been a fire under you, right? But it's just been so magnificent to watch.
Yeah.
You know, and who your leaders were as well, right? Like who we know your leaders to be, right? Your first being, well, not first, but at Jackson State, Dr. Liddell, and just, you know what I mean? Your director of bands and the leaders and the role models, I would say, that you had. Like they molded you to be a beast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And of course, with their own intention and with your own, you know, passion for, you know, band and, you know, and students.
Right.
But man, I don't know. I can't say it enough. I'm just proud to have seen you come to this point, and to do it with intention and do it with, you know, purpose and in your purpose.
Well,
And
now, yeah, you know, to your point, you seen me as a puppet. You know, you saw me coming to the program. You know, you was working with us. You know, you were on, you know, staff as the administrative assistant, and so you literally saw, you know, kind of like my goal and trajectory. You know, as I maturated through the program, and again, I've always appreciated your words of encouragement as well.
Tiger Talk TV is presented by BetOnline.